Next, I'm going to show you how to make a really simple number line with some paper you might have at home. So here's my finished number line. It just goes from 1 to 12. And what I did, I just got a piece of kind of thin cardboard. I find it's a little sturdier than a piece of paper, but if you have a piece of paper, that's fine. And I folded it in half, just like this. Kind of like, trying to get my edges to touch. If it's not exactly right, that's okay. This paper is a little tough to move around. So I have one fold in the middle. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut down the middle. Okay. And I'm not going to get rid of this extra paper. So hold on to whatever you have left over, hold on to it. So you should be left with this. Then take this piece. So you've gone from 1 to 2 and 2 halves. On mine, Escher, be quiet. 2 halves, make a hole. But we just need 1 for now. So take that 1 and do the same thing again. So fold it over. You might need, if you use a thick paper like I'm using, you might have to have someone to help you. But guess what? If it has little folds in it, that's okay. Here we go. Alright, close enough. Okay, and we're gonna cut it again. Down the middle. Nice and slow, because it's not a race. Maybe somewhere in the world there's a number line making race, but it's not here. Okay, so now I got 2 strips. I'm gonna take a piece of tape. This is the tape I happen to have a lot of. We send a lot of packages. But you can use any tape you have. I'm going to find the ends that kind of match the best. I'm going to put one piece of tape on one side. I'm going to flip it over. Next step. I have a Sharpie, but guess what, KX? You can use a pencil. Amaya. Oh. I was going to ask Amaya to get me a pencil, but I found one. I'm going to take my spacer. You could use your 2 fingers as a spacer, but I don't know. Just for fun, I'm going to use this little fork. I'm going to use my fork to hold it down. And I start by making my first number, which is 1. And I told you to say, if you remember your number rhymes, that's great. So here we go. 1 is fun. Next one. Do you remember, KX? 2 is around and back on a railroad track. And you know what? Because I've been making numbers for a while now, I'm going to go back with my Sharpie. 1 is fun. 2 is around and back on a railroad track. What comes next, KX? Do you remember? Yeah, number 3 is around a tree and around a tree. That's the way to make a 3. 4 is down and over and down some more. That's the way to make a 4. Here comes 5. Down and around, put a hat on top. If you don't want to use a Sharpie and you're afraid you might make a mistake, then use a pencil first, because guess what you can do with pencil? You can erase it. And then go back with your Sharpie. So after 5 comes 6. Whoops. Around, wait. Roll a hoop and make a loop. Even after all these years, I have to remind myself. Next is 7. Across the sky and down from heaven. That's the way to make a 7. Here comes 8. You make an S, but do not wait. Go back up and close the gate. Do you remember my story about Tricky Ricky? If you do, maybe you can tell Mommy and Daddy, or Daddy and Daddy and Mommy and Mommy. Here we go. Next is 9. A hoop and a line that makes a 9. Next is 10. Well, how do we make 10? 1 is fun. And do you remember 0? We don't say 0 that much. Around we go. Next is 11, and that's 1 is fun. 1 is fun. And finally for today, 12 is 1 is fun. And then we got a 2. Around and back on a railroad track. And there, KX, you have a simple number line. And guess what we might do with the extra piece of paper? Yes, we might make our number line longer for next time. All right, cakes, have fun. I can't wait to see your number lines.